Having affirmed our resolve to turn dreams into reality in the months and years ahead, it is important to keep focused on important life goals. It's important to do what's necessary to overcome the challenges that exist and to grasp the opportunities to achieve prosperity. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkins and thanks for joining us for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. On the pages today, protecting the environment to preserve our health and economy. Plus, adding value to agricultural production to increase profitability. Later, we'll discuss climate-smart actions to reduce the impact of drought. These and more to come in the half hour. Stay with us.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep we
eat.
island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Tourists from all over the world come to Jamaica each year to enjoy the beauty of the natural environment, including our beaches. That beauty is certainly not lost on Jamaicans, who also take great joy in what the country has to offer. But how many of us consider how our actions might be endangering the sustainability of the natural space?
Part in preserving our environment as much as possible. That's the reality.
Jamaicans love going to the beach, hardly surprising since we are a tropical island people. But we aren't the only fans. Among its many offerings, Jamaica's tourism landscape owes much to the appeal of our many miles of white sand beaches. Yet, although these gems of nature offer us both a place to play and earn, all too often, this is how we treat them.
From diapers to container covers, plastic, bottles, bags, you name it, it's out here.
According to the US-based nonprofit environmental advocacy group Ocean Conservancy, our oceans sustain us with the basic elements of life, producing half of the oxygen in the air we breathe and serving as an essential part of the water cycle. Beaches are the frontier of this essential resource, providing habitat and nesting grounds for important ocean wildlife like sea turtles and seabirds, and helping to sustain complex coastal economies. It's why local organizations like the National Environment and Planning Agency and the Urban Development Corporation regularly organize exercises to clear our beaches of the debris so carelessly discarded.
The objective is really, most importantly, to raise the awareness amongst the general population about how our everyday activities affect our coastal resources. Because what we find is that when we dispose of garbage improperly, it ends up right back on the beach.
Don't litter, don't throw garbage in the sea, in the rivers, in gullies and stuff. Just keep the environment clean.
Because we want a clean environment to come in and play and swim.
Polluting our beaches with trash is not just an eyesore. It affects the health of people, wildlife, and economies. And what we do on land invariably ends up in the water. The result could be injury to swimmers and beachgoers, wildlife being harmed from eating or getting trapped in the garbage, boat propellers being ensnared, and tourists seeking more pristine environs to vacation.
It's very important because if all the garbage wash away into the sea, the marine animals will choke and they will die. It will cause pollution.
The beaches are nature's gift to us, offering up a relaxing environment to get away from the stressors of life, enjoy them, and allow others to do the same.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, we run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Agri-processing provides significant opportunities for agricultural business expansion and wealth creation. As a result, government has been promoting this value-adding component to the sector as part of efforts to grow the economy. More on the entrepreneurial opportunities next.
Food. For most, that probably means the broad label for just about every edible item we humans consume. Now, Jamaicans fully agree to this, but in the lingua of the island, food is also a specific term for the side dishes that accompany the main course of Jamaican meals. You might also hear them called ground or grung provisions, yam, potato, sweet or Irish, dasheen, cocoa, cassava, and others that are staples of the island's agricultural output. Farmers, supported by government and strong private groups, plant and harvest these crops for the discerning Jamaican consumer and a reliable export market. As the world marvels at the lightning speed of the likes of Usain Bolt and Veronica Campbell-Brown, many have asked, is it in the food? Perhaps the yellow yam?
969. When we roast the yellow yam, when we roast the yellow yam, and we slice it in a two, and we slice it in a two.
The skin is brown, sometimes black, and some say scaly. Peel away the outer layer and get to the heart of its starchy goodness. There you'll find fulfillment and a taste that is as distinctive as the indescribable talent of our trailblazing athletic stars. More importantly, in the heart of our yams are essential nutrients for healthy living: vitamins C and B6, potassium, manganese, fiber, and iron. These nutrients converge in several varieties of the Jamaican yam, a tuber with off-white, purple, white, yellow, and sometimes red flesh, depending on the variety. For every type of yam, there is a uniquely Jamaican name, like renta, yampi, moonshine, or afu. Whatever the name, they're all edible, just so long as you cook them first. And with thousands of acres of fertile land, yam production is an island-wide vocation in Jamaica. But you might be surprised, or not, to know that the most popular yam-producing parish, Trelawney, is also the home of the world's fastest man.
Corrected to 969, the relax. Usain Bolt, tremendous running by this man.
Daylight come and me want go home. Work all night.
From jerk to curry recipes, Jamaican cooking is all about the spices, sourced right on the island. With the support of the state entity responsible for managing all things agricultural, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Jamaica's spice producers are on the verge of stamping a bolder mark on the competitive international industry, with many programs unfurling to increase the production of traditional spices like ginger, turmeric, nutmeg, and pimento, and non-traditional spices such as hot peppers and onion. And the possibilities are bountiful. Take ginger and turmeric, for example. Both grow with relative ease almost anywhere on the island. In fact, travel to some places in Jamaica and you can find turmeric growing wild, unfettered by any environmental condition that could stunt its growth. Whether for use as a condiment, for its healing properties, or simply for coloring, consumers worldwide can't seem to get enough turmeric. Global trade in turmeric has been trending up, and so have prices. As for Jamaican ginger, it has long been considered among, if not the best in the world. Current global demand for Jamaican ginger is estimated at 21,000 metric tons in its fresh form and 4,200 tons dried, and there's room for growth. Jamaica is a tiny giant in the world of agro-processed foods. Island producers are dishing out big, unique flavors, employing ingenuity and utilizing the support of state agencies to steadily eke out more of the international market for these goods. Jamaican companies like Central Food Packers are making a mark on this agricultural offshoot, exporting quality canned, bottled and baked foods to markets in North America, the United Kingdom, Canada and the Caribbean. Included in the mix are mild to spicy hot sauces, jams and jellies, a must if you want to proclaim your Jamaicanness. Ackee, delivered to you in a can, and for a bit of green delight, callaloo canned in brine. Then there are some unique Jamaican spreads for your breads and biscuits, like a dab of Solomon Gundy or a spoonful of delicious mango, sorrel or tamarind chutney. And let's not forget the roots wines. Jamaica's value-added agro-processors are engaged in other sweet pursuits. Companies like Honeykiss are churning out all-natural honey confections. As they'll tell you, and you can taste for yourself, pure Jamaican wildflower honey is infused with just a choops of natural unique fruits, vegetables and spices, ginger, Blue Mountain coffee, pimento, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper. Sweet, aromatic, rich, strong are entirely inadequate labels. Have a taste of authentic Jamaican honey, and what you'll get is a pure, honest flavor, aroma and taste, and medicinal benefits that make healthy living absolutely enticing. Whether your delight is tea, coffee, or maybe cocoa, Jamaican value-added producers have carved out a reputation for delivering only the best. Jamaica is known for its lush landscapes, revered for its music, celebrated for its track stars, and the world is hooked on our coffee. And it's hardly surprising. The species of choice in the Jamaican coffee industry, Arabic coffee, is widely accepted as producing the far superior cup. And Blue Mountain is the brand best loved by coffee connoisseurs from near and far, commanding high prices wherever it's sold. Cultivated high up in the misty blue-hued mountains of the island, maturing in rich volcanic-based soil, only the best bright red cherries are hand-picked, sun-dried, stored, cured, hulled, polished, sized, hand-sorted and packaged to bring the highest quality coffee to your tables. The end product is a cup of exceptionally balanced, exotic and intense aroma with an intricate range of flavor notes that is said to include a subtle hint of herbs, spice and chocolate. So, what's your delight? Whatever it is, Jamaican farmers and end producers are uniquely and creatively positioned to deliver. In this land of wood and water, champions are not just made for the tracks, they're also found in the fields and in the shopping carts of discerning consumers the world over.
Enjoy yourself in your homeland. A little more. I and I rope queen. Go rubber dub it. Wanna I will lick a scene.
The foundations of corporate empires are usually rooted in the minds of young, bright men and women who've dared the risks of becoming entrepreneurs. First, identifying opportunities that can create wealth, products and services that are in demand, and meeting those needs with unique innovation. Planning and establishing a business is no easy task, and operating successfully for any extended period is an even tougher job. But Jamaica's youth entrepreneurship policy and strategy gives young people with good business ideas a chance to operate more thriving long-term businesses and create their own income. Youth entrepreneurship is encouraged by both public and private organizations. It is also being fostered within schools and communities to instill the business bug early. And with more young persons owning businesses, they'd be helping to drive economic development and job creation, all of which can make a difference in the lives of other people. And that explains why support has been growing in areas of financing for startup and business experience. Government over the years has established various agencies for helping the youth set up and run their businesses. The National Center for Youth Development, NCYD, for example, continues to empower youth in entrepreneurship. Both attached and unattached young people are able to benefit from access to information through the establishment of youth information centers across the island and various programs that include training. Government has partnered with organizations such as Jamaica Youth Business Trust to provide venture capital funds for persons under the age of 30, collateral requirement being only a sound business plan and a willingness to accept a mentor from the private sector. There is also the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, YEP, giving school leavers at the secondary and tertiary levels with strong entrepreneurial spirits the benefit of training and access to financing. Youths also have access to various business support services provided by the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, the premier business support organization. From the conception of a business idea, young entrepreneurs can get help through the stages of developing the business, planning, financing, starting, marketing, and growing. Indeed, the window of opportunity is open for all youths to access business support at the highest professional levels.
Some water we drink, please.
Water gone. But me need water for cook. So how me go wash?
Let's weather the drought. Start conservation measures today. Check for leaks around your house. Opt for shorter showers over long baths. Reuse water to water plants and lawn. Watch the amount of water you and your family use. Try cooking methods that don't require much water. And if you have a vehicle, avoid washing it regularly. Remember, water is as important as the air we breathe. So conserve our water, conserve our life.
Putting in place safeguards against disasters or any adverse events is important for us to achieve sustainable development and economic growth. Agriculture, which has its fair share of threats from weather-related events, can be made secure by applying preventative measures such as what you'll see in this next feature. Take a look.
We get most of our annual rainfall during the May to June and October to November months. Periods when water is in abundance. But at other times, agriculture faces seasonal but extensive droughts. Farmers like Mr. Campbell, who know the horror of drought, reach for solutions. And a good one is to store excess water from the rainy months for the dry season. Harvesting water requires some investment. These include putting in catchment tanks or ponds. In this model, rainwater collected from the roof of this greenhouse using a gutter is emptied into the pond, then pumped into an elevated tank, from where gravity feeds it to the plants in the greenhouse. Tyrone, who farms in a hilly area, collects the rainfall from the roof of his house into a tank built of stone and concrete. He then pipes the water into his field, where he irrigates using the drip system. Agricultural experts will tell you the size of the water harvester you choose to put in will depend on your preference and budget. In the end, you'd surely be saving on the cost of water and meet the important objective of improved production by reducing the impact of drought. The dry mulching technique has been proved effective in managing drought risks. It's a kind of farming that helps retain soil water in the ground. Farmers who plant crops with higher levels of tolerance to heat are better able to deal with heat-related constraints during drought. Research and breeding of drought-tolerant crops has therefore been an area of focus in the Ministry of Agriculture. Farmers being provided with drought-tolerant crops are able to build a resilient system that gives enhanced crop yields under high temperatures. This is where we have to leave you for now. Remember, disasters do happen. Be prepared. Until next time, take care.
Up next, our news of the week.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. National Security Minister Robert Montague says a mix of measures will be employed in 2017 to disrupt criminal elements in the country.
It is the year when changes are going to come. It is the year when we are going to confront some things. We're going to disrupt the criminal forces.
He says the measures will include splitting the St. James Police Division, legislative changes, and procurement of new infrastructure and equipment. The National Security Minister also made it clear this week that the next head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force would be subject to a performance-based contract.
There must be a performance agreement. The Commissioner of Police holds a sensitive position. But I am saying the candidate who is willing to apply must also stand by, because there's going to be another criteria. You must come to the table with your plans, your visions as to how we are going to tackle what faces Jamaica and this constabulary force.
In his address at the JCF's annual devotional exercise, he also praised the outgoing Commissioner of Police, Dr. Carl Williams.
And for those who may harbor thoughts against him, I challenge anyone to come forward with any evidence. We must be grateful for his service, and a grateful nation will express its gratitude for that service.
Government has completed the standards governing the packaging and labeling of brown sugar. It was gazetted on December 30 and calls for producers and repackers of sugar to put in place food safety systems. Additionally, all sugar in commercial trade will need to be appropriately labeled to the required standard.
This means all sugar available to the retail trade must be appropriately labeled and will guarantee traceability of the product.
Meanwhile, Minister Carl Samuda has withdrawn the ministerial order that was imposed in late September for the frosty pod rot of cocoa disease.
Because as you know, there was a large outcry on the part of some growers that had not been affected, wondering why we had to close them down, why we had to affect their production and sales and their general revenue. Well, as a result of now determining that the disease is widespread throughout Jamaica, we have developed a new strategy. We no longer need the order to remain in place, and we will now pursue a strategy of field management with a view to control and the eventual eradication over a long-term period.
The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is looking to find additional sources of funding to repair, maintain, and rehabilitate parochial roads across the island.
Of the 27,000 kilometers of road network in the country, the local authorities have responsibility for almost 23,000 kilometers of those road network. What is given to the local authorities for road maintenance is not adequate.
The local government minister says discussions are underway with the Ministry of Finance for funding separate from the Parochial Revenue Fund. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ has launched an audit program aimed at persons with multiple employment and who may be benefiting from the tax threshold more than once in a given year. Individuals are entitled to one threshold per year of assessment and must report and declare income from more than one employer. TAJ says taxpayers will receive letters from its audit team outlining their current tax status. As is customary, individuals will be given the opportunity to make a payment arrangement which may be facilitated through the tax payment portal at jamaicatax.gov.jm. And finally, 23,600 names have been added to the voters list, while 2,367 names have been removed. That's reflected in the November 30, 2016 voters list, which was published on December 31. It has a total of 1,870,245 registered electors, a net increase of 21,233 over the previous list published on May 31, 2016. The next voters list will be published on May 31, 2017. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. We value your feedback, so keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISnews. Also, click on our website, jis.gov.jm for the very latest government information. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to take care of your good health and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.